Hello, viewer, and welcome back to Games with Dialogue. This is episode 71 of my RPG Maker series. Last time, I continued to work on the Skill Shrine challenges, and we're going to continue that today. So let's dive in. First things first, I'm still working on Skill Room 3 with the red buttons. I'm thinking I'll go with blood, like a heart, and these will be the extremities. And it will be a riddle of what order to push them in, similar to the sunrise or sunset over here. Instead of like these two rooms for the blue and the green, where it's just which ones are the correct ones to push. Otherwise, I can't really think of anything for the red. I mean, there's blood, there's flowers, there's magma. Unless I wanted to go with a little more abstract, but I'm still working on it. I think I'm gonna go with blood, but I'm still working on it. So, on to room 4. I debated whether or not I wanted to stick with the player pushing a or several boulders around through a maze, 2 switches to open the door. That seemed much too similar to room number 2, where the player has to find their correct path through what is essentially an invisible maze. So I was thinking about other puzzles in other games. What I wanted to do was test the player's dexterity, but since there's no dodging in this game, and the closest thing I could get to dexterity tests are timed floor spikes, I figured that wasn't going to happen, so I should try something else. This one that I have set up here, I was debating whether or not to put switches along the outer edges and make each 3x3 square. I'm actually going to zoom in for this. Make each 3x3 square tied together. Basically, what I wanted to do here was create a puzzle where the player had to move each 3x3 square around so that a path is created for the ball to roll through to this end goal, to open up the next exit. The thing is, though, I didn't think about how much work that was going to be. Tying each individual tile together for a 3x3 grid, and then tying that with a switch so that when the player interacts with the left to right or the up and down, every block will move accordingly. I'm not sure about that. There was another option that I was thinking of where you tie 3 balls together. That came out wrong. You tie 3 separate coordinates to each switch, and then manipulate the switches to move all 3 objects at the same time. Try to create a puzzle where the player has to get all 3 objects on 3 separate points for it to unlock the gate. So, for example, if you wanted to get this rightmost ball in this rightmost green section, you'd have to move all 3 blocks over 1, and then up 2, over 2, and then down 2, which would manipulate the position of these 2. That one's a lot easier to do, because I just make variables for each of the coordinates for each of the balls, and then tie each switch to the balls, basically. When you manipulate one switch, you're manipulating all 3. and then just go from there. The problem with that one is I have to be a good enough puzzle designer to have a solution worked out for this. I think the easiest thing to do is just, instead of having it designed the way it is now, come up with a pattern that solves the solution and then design the obstacle around the pattern. For example, if I wanted the solution to be move all the balls over one to the right, and then up, up, right, right, down, down, lock this one in place, and then go from there. Left, left, up, up, down, down, left, left, for example, to get this one in place, or this one in place, and then build the obstacle course around the pattern of movement. That's perfectly easy to do. That's simple. But then it has to be solvable if the player screws up somehow, or I need a reset button. There shouldn't just be one way for the player to succeed at it, because if they mess up early, there's no way for them to get it back. Unless, of course, there's multiple ways to solve the puzzle. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck on these two, because I like both of them, and this one I think is more unique. I've been moving forward with this one, just tying these three objects to variables, to coordinates, and then trying to tie those to the switches. So what will probably happen is that I lean into this one, redesign this little map, this little maze, and go with this, which I'm okay with. I'm not super happy with it, but I'm not super happy with any of them. What I would prefer is what I would prefer can't be done in RPG Maker, but we'll probably go with this one. And then, of course, there's just the last challenge. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. The last challenge, which is, where'd she go? Now, one of these is what I'm looking for. Put the crystal back in place since I've moved everything around. Is it her? Skill Shrine fight. Yeah. The boss fight with the succubus, which I planned to use and just cut. Which I planned to use a while ago. Once you get through room 4, you'll enter in the bottom here, fight her, come up to the crystal, get rewarded with 3 new classes, and then an opening with a secret room will open up over here from probably right above this doorway here. If I'm going to be honest, if I build the rest of the room out like this, and then a secret passageway will open up right back up here, and out you go. Or I was also thinking that a separate door could open up and you walk out and it takes you out here somewhere in the mayor's yard. So let's go through variables then. I think it was important to try to get that to work. Now, full disclosure, variables confuse me. They're probably the thing I am the second least adept at, right after scripting. Building a map, writing up events, cutscenes, dialogue, design, I'm great at. Variables, I need help with. But I understand this enough to know that I need a variable for each ball. So actually, let me come back out. Because we're going to name each individual ball. We're going to call this rolling ball. We'll call this rolling ball A, B, and C. That way I know who to tie this to, the variables to. Rolling ball B and Rolling ball C. There we go. Okay. So let's come into the variables. Set up. I don't know if I'm going to use these two, but I probably will in one of these earlier tests. So let's see. We'll call this one ball A chord X. Sure. Okay. And let's see. We want game data, map ID. Now, is this what I need? Map ID, coordinate X and coordinate Y? I don't know. Thankfully, there's a lot of help on the forums that can explain to me how to use a variable to tie X and Y coordinates to an object that I need to track. But I'm pretty sure I need map ID as a coordinate, as a variable. So we'll do that. Control variables for this. And then once that's set up, apply. Let's assume I do the same. Actually, hold on. It's just faster to do this. No. It's not faster to do that. That's my fault. That's my fault. Okay. Let's say ball B coordinates instead of coordinate X. And then set that as game data map ID. Okay, and do the same for number 3, of course. So I can tie all 3 variables to switches. And if I go in here and I go to conditional branch and I come over here to button, let's say the button is pressed. Right now it's pressed to the left, but let's assume it starts in the neutral position, because these lever switches have 3 different animations. Let's say it starts in the neutral position and it is moved to the right. If the button is pushed right, then the first ball moves over 1. And then just tie. If button right is pressed, then all of the other ones move over 1. Like I said, I'm not great with variables. I will have to look this up to make sure I'm doing this right. But thankfully, there are plenty of tutorials online that can tell me that I'm doing things incorrectly. I mean, that's how you learn. That's how I learn. Other people who know what they're doing tell me how to do it, or tell me what the correct procedure is, and then I experiment. I can experiment and then go find out what the truth is, which is what I'm doing in this episode. But okay. I've gotten off track. Let's come back to this. Assuming this is how this works, for now, until I educate myself on whether or not that's true. If the button is pushed to the right, then the 3 balls will each move 1 to the right. Okay? The problem is I can do left and right with this switch here, and this switch over here is probably going to do the same thing. In fact, if that's the case, I'm going to put it in the neutral position. But these blue ones here on the sides are the vertical, the up and down. So I want to experiment here. Conditional branch. If button is pushed to the right, then let's say the variable. Yes, okay. So I was right, because I'm not going to be able to get a coordinate, the map ID coordinate, to go up and down with this setup. It's going to have to be, yes, discard changes. There's going to have to be an X and a Y coordinate for the map ID. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just going to have to investigate. I'm going to have to teach myself. I'm going to have to look into how other people have done it. But that's the goal. I think I'm going to go with this one. That's the goal. So let's jump ahead a little bit and assume that the player has gotten all 3 balls where they need to be on these 3 green tiles. I want to create a switch on these 3 tiles that say when these variables are in the right position, all 3 of them, that this hole fills in and the way to the next room appears. The thing is, I don't want to force the player to get a specific ball on a specific tile. The puzzle should be solvable by getting any of these 3 on any of these 3 green spaces. So how can I do that? Let's go into contents. We'll say conditional branch. If variable, we'll say this one. If variable coordinate equals if variable coordinate equals variable this, and we'll assign this with a variable, right? We can call it solution what? Let's call it solution alpha. There we go. I don't want to call it solution A, B, and C because we'll call it solution 1 just to make things easier for me to keep track of. I don't want to call it solution A, B, or C because I might, in the future, while I'm working on it, conflate ball A with solution A. And what I don't want to do that. I want to keep it where any ball can land on any tile. Oh, nope. Well, I'll make number 3 later. So, yeah, okay, let's say solution 2. So if ball A equals solution 2, then that works. We'll say control switch, and we'll give... Oh, well, I need to move this out of the way. We'll give the exit its own switch. So change the maximum. We'll say 36. Room for exit. There we go. Apply. Okay. Okay. We'll say it's off right now. If ball A equals blah, 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 control switch, room for exit off. But yeah, okay. All right. I jumped ahead a little bit. We want ball A coordinate 2, solution 2. We want ball B equal solution, let's say 3. And then we want ball 3 to equal solution 1. There we go. Then the room exit comes on. And we can do that. We will have to do that for each tile for every pure mutation of the balls in these green tiles. So what I mean is, for this particular tile, we have, if these 3 balls are on these 3 tiles, the room will open. But we also need, if ball A is on solution 3 and ball B is on solution 1 and ball C is on solution 2, the room exit will open. There has to be a better way to do that, where we can just say on this particular tile, if any of the map IDs are, any of those variables are on this tile, then the room will open, instead of making a permutation for each one. I'm almost positive there is, and I will continue to work on it. But for now, you're looking at a clumsy first try solution. But for now, you're looking at a first shotgun approach to it, which will work. I'm almost positive it will work. I can't test it yet until I get everything set up, but once I get the variables set up and the same, actually with this one I can probably, it's probably faster to just copy and then paste on each of these. Yeah, it's probably faster to just do that instead of typing it out all by hand. There we go. I will say this is tile. Why don't we say this is tile solution 3. There, just to keep things coordinated and being better able to be referenced between all the events that I'm going to be making. The idea is, if I left this alone for a month and forgot everything about it and came back, I would be able to piece together what everything ties together. So we want to make sure our naming conventions make sense to anybody who comes along later and looks at the code. Okay. Then I need to set this up. I wonder if I can do that with just tiles. Let's see here. Tile set B. No. That's always been the problem. There's no tile set A that I can just take it. But I can create, if I want to, I can create a floor. I think for this one I'll use these stone tiles here. So actually this one, I think what I'll do, use that. There we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, and I'll do another one. Wait. Why am I doing that? I can just copy, paste. There we go. So these will appear. Actually, I have to do one more step. Copy event page, paste event page, and then remove this. So there's nothing there. There. That way the event starts with nothing there, and then when the solution presents itself, this will pop up. So yeah, there we go. So there will be nothing here, but then when all three objects are on all three green tiles, these two will pop up, and the player can move on to the next room. Copy, paste, come back, make that blank again. There we go. All right. So how are we going to do that? I don't even have to touch this, really. I just have to name it. Let's say room 4, exit tile, exit bridge. Let's say that. Exit bridge. Apply. Great. All right. So we have control switches when all three of these are correct. Room 4 exit comes on. Great. We just tie the room 4 exit switch to this here, and we're good to go. So room 4 exit, right there. Actually, it would be in this one. I made the mistake. That's blank. There we go. Do the same thing here. Second, tie that there. There we go. All right. And there you go. As soon as all three are on the tiles they need to be on, the switch will activate, bringing these up. We can even do a little flare to it. When it pops up, we can have a sound effect play. There we go. Let's bring it down to 20, but it can be something like open or move, or I'm actually going to come down here to open because I think there is a stone block sound we can do. So let me find it here. All right, my mistake. What about door? I think it might have been door that I was looking for. There it is. Right. Okay. So when the switch triggers, the player will hear, wherever they are over here, they will hear that stone movement. And then if they walk over here, they'll see that the bridge has appeared. And that's simple. It's that easy. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy for me because I barely understand what I'm doing with variables, but it's easy. I mean, once you understand what you're doing, it's simple enough to set up. All right, so that's room 4. I haven't officially decided I'm going to do this, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use this puzzle, I think, to get out. So all I really need at this point is to set up the entrance and the exit. So let me do... How am I going to do this? Do I want it to go down or do I want it to go up? I think I want it to go down. So I need... that, and then to find the open door here. And stick it in. There we go. And there we go. And then I just make actually, can I do... No, that's not gonna work. What if I leave this blank? No. All right. Well, I suppose the other thing I could do is that, and then just... Yeah, all right. That works. So I set up an event for this right here. Transfer. And we move to... right here. Retain. Great. And then if I come back to room 3, if I do transfer to room 4, right here. Well, no. I don't like that. I don't like where that's positioned. Let's do right here. Because what I could probably do is have... Yeah, I'll have the wall come up a little bit more with the gate and then pop them out right here. Okay. There. Now I should be able to get around every piece of this dungeon. So I'm going to try that real quick. Oh, wait. Before I hit test and play, I need to set up the exit here. Let's see. How am I going to do that? We'll do... Yeah, okay, this is good. The problem is I have to retie the exit here. So now I have to actually go in and edit it instead of making it simple and easy. There we go. Okay. And then New. Come on. Transfer. We want to go... We want to go there. There we go. All right. So I should be able to get around to each room now. I mean, this is not going to help me. And this door is in the way. But if I remove it real quick, let's cut and put it there. This room is set up so that I can transfer. And... oh, right. I need the transfer for the stairs. Actually, the stairs don't need it because the stairs lock once you go up. Well, once you come down into the testing chamber. But I do want to make sure I need... right, I need this event to be... right. What was the trigger to... what was the trigger for this switch? I need to remind myself. It was this, right? You talk to this thing, and then the control switch comes on. Right. Okay. All right. So let me test this out real quick. I'm going to spawn set starting position player. Save. There we go. And let's see. All the transfer points work. Okay, good. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, but we can just skip all that since I don't have the whole thing set up yet. Oh, no! I forgot I needed to make the room bigger. Okay. Well, this is why you test before you release a broken game. I forgot to make the room bigger. All right. Well, for testing purposes, I'm just going to do this. That way they can walk through, they can walk down, they can go out. All right. Anything about this room? They can come. There's a block right there, but they can just walk up and around. The big thing here is that there's no way anybody's going to be able to walk across there. I think temporarily... I should probably have a way for players to walk across just so I can test. Okay. Save. Good. Great. All right. Well, that's it. That's going to be it for today's episode. I think I have a lot of work cut out for me, a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error, a lot of playing, and a lot of research on how to correctly use variables. But that is for off camera. Until next episode, stay safe and God bless you.